Hi, my name is Ellis Hurley. Today is May 12th, 2025. For my flowchart, I chose to do estradiol, ACTH, and myosin. Obviously, all of these are coded genetically by the nucleus, but I started with where they're synthesized in the cell. So estradiol is a steroid hormone, meaning it comes from the lipid cholesterol. So it is synthesized on the smooth endoplasmic reticulum within that organelle in the cell, while ACTH and myosin are both synthesized by the rough endoplasmic reticulum, specifically the ribosomes, which are going to synthesize proteins on the rough endoplasmic reticulum. So they're both synthesized there. Once these macromolecules have been created, they are packed into transport vesicles and they are sent to the Golgi apparatus. There are two faces of this organelle. So there is the cis face and the trans face. The transport vesicles enter through the cis face, and then within the Golgi apparatus, they are both packaged and prepped for transport, and then they are tagged for their correct binding actions and locations. So the Golgi apparatus is responsible for all of these molecules and for getting them ready to be sent out, either for their places within the cell or outside of the cell. So following the arrows down, they all go to the Golgi apparatus, and then they split off again. Myosin is intracellular, so it, instead of going outside of the cell membrane, it is once again packaged into a transport vesicle to be transported throughout the cell. It is mainly used in muscle cells, and it binds to actin in order to contract muscles. So once it's transported to where it needs to go to bind to the actin, its job is done within the cell. Meanwhile, estradiol and ACTH are both sent outside of the cell. So they are packaged into secretory vesicles, where my vesicle got cut off a little bit here, but that should be our secretory vesicle that allows for transport outside of the cell membrane. So they exit the cell membrane, and then they both enter the bloodstream, which is how they're transported throughout the body. And then estradiol ends up binding to two locations within their target cells. The first is an intracellular protein receptor, which is going to take estradiol into the cell, and then it actually binds to a receptor on the cell's nucleus in order to perform its actions there. It's responsible for sexual maturity and growth, and as well as the reproductive cycle. So estradiol mainly goes to reproductive tissues. Finally, ACTH is also sent outside of the cell, follows the same pathway, going outside of the cell membrane via a secretory vesicle through the bloodstream. ACTH is responsible for the release of cortisol, and while it's created in the pituitary gland, it's very highly specific binding activity. It binds to melanocortin with an accessory protein, and when it's bound to melanocortin, it allows for the production and secretion of cortisol within the body. So while there are some similarities between all of these molecules, they do go through their own pathways based on their receptor activities and their synthesis.